What if the greatest drive of the season happened right in front of our eyes, and the team behind it barely noticed? Lewis Hamilton delivered a performance for the ages at the 2025 Belgian Grand Prix, rising from the pit lane to 7th with pure precision. Yet while fans voted him driver of the day, Ferrari gave the spotlight to Charles Leclerc, sidelining Hamilton's brilliance. Why? Was it favoritism, politics, or something deeper? If you think racing is just about speed, think again. This story reveals everything the cameras missed, and the tension that could tear Ferrari apart from the inside. Saturday was a nightmare. Hamilton was eliminated in Q1 after Ferrari fitted his SF5 with an experimental component that completely destabilized the car. It was twitchy and unbalanced, snapping mid-corner, refusing to obey his inputs. The car fought him from the first lap, and as a result, he failed to make it out of the first qualifying session. Meanwhile, his teammate Charles Leclerc qualified third behind the two McLarens, setting himself up for a strong Sunday. The contrast couldn't have been more dramatic. One driver at the front, one at the very back starting from the pit lane. But here's where the story shifts. Overnight, Ferrari worked relentlessly to overhaul Hamilton's setup. They removed the faulty component, softened the rear damping, raised the ride height, and remapped the aerodynamic configuration. And the next day, something incredible happened. With the rebuilt car underneath him, Lewis Hamilton began what would become one of the most clinical, calculated, and compelling drives of the season. As the lights went out on race day, Hamilton launched an attack on the midfield with surgical precision. Every move was clean, every pass was sharp. He made his way through the pack without drama or contact, overtaking more cars than any other driver. Fans around the world voted him driver of the day, a rare feat for someone finishing in 7th place. But while social media exploded in celebration, Ferrari's response was startlingly quiet. Ferrari's communications team immediately highlighted Leclerc's podium finish, with full press coverage, team photos, and strategic analysis. And rightly so, he had driven a solid, composed race under pressure. But for Hamilton, there was only a brief acknowledgement, generic messaging, and no major celebration. Despite one of the best recovery drives in recent memory, the difference in enthusiasm between the two drivers was glaring. But Lewis Hamilton didn't need fanfare to make his point. Speaking after the race, his tone was calm but carried weight. "I'm happy to have come from all the way back there, recovered, and got into the points," he said. "But it's not the result I wanted this weekend. Definitely a weekend to forget." But hidden beneath that simple statement was a deeper message. The performance wasn't just about salvaging a poor result. It was a direct demonstration of what he could achieve when the team finally listened to his input. And that's the heart of the issue. Hamilton's post-race interviews revealed that the changes made to the car overnight were exactly what he'd been asking for all along. He had warned Ferrari about the floor suspension interaction system during Friday practice, but his concerns were dismissed until the car broke down during qualifying. Only after the disaster did the engineers implement his suggestions. And when they did, the result was undeniable. The car still wasn't perfect, but for the first time that weekend, it wasn't working against him. And that's all Hamilton needed. With a machine that finally responded to his touch, he reminded the world and his team why he's a 7-time world champion. His racecraft was on full display, diving through Radillon, holding tight lines through Blanchimont, and finding grip where others struggled. Even the Ferrari pit wall fell silent, not out of disappointment, but out of sheer disbelief. They weren't coaching him, they were spectators. The bigger problem: this kind of performance shouldn't require a crisis to unlock. It should be the baseline, and that's exactly what Hamilton subtly called out. He thanked the factory and trackside teams, expressing genuine appreciation for their hard work. But within that gratitude was a challenge. "Why didn't you trust me sooner?" His words were polite, but they pierced straight to the heart of Ferrari's internal culture. Even Frederick Vasseur, Ferrari's team principal, couldn't ignore what the world had just witnessed. He praised Lewis Hamilton's drive, calling it aggressive yet calculated. But as powerful as those words were, the silence that followed spoke louder. The problem wasn't what Ferrari said, it was what they chose not to say. no major celebration. No social media tribute, no media frenzy. While Charles Leclerc's podium finish received the full championship treatment, Hamilton's masterpiece from the pit lane was quietly swept under the rug. And that silence? It wasn't accidental. The truth is, the dynamics inside Ferrari are beginning to show. The late setup changes Hamilton had begged for, changes that transformed a broken car into a weapon, only came after disaster. The applause, delayed. The praise, muted. The team that's supposed to back both its drivers showed a clear preference. And it's not hard to see who benefits. Look at the numbers. As of the Belgian Grand Prix, Leclerc has 5 podiums and 139 points. Hamilton, just 1 podium and 109 points. That 30-point gap isn't simply a reflection of on-track performance. It reveals something more, a difference in trust. One driver receives early support, consistent backing, and a car built around his strengths. The other, he has to fight for every change, every strategy shift, every setup adjustment. He doesn't start with belief, he has to earn it race by race. Yet when things fall apart, only one of them can turn the wreckage into something unforgettable. Hamilton's comments after the race revealed a deeper truth. When asked about the delayed race start, he said, "We started a bit too late. They kept going round and round. I think they were probably overreacting from the last race." On the surface, it sounds like a critique of protocol. But underneath, it's something else entirely. It's a look into Hamilton's mindset and his growing frustration with Ferrari's fear of failure. While Hamilton sees opportunity, Ferrari sees risk. He wants action, they hesitate. And in Formula One, that hesitation can mean the difference between a podium and a wasted weekend, or worse, a lost championship. No one's denying Charles Leclerc's talent. He's smooth, consistent, dependable, the kind of driver who gets results and rarely makes a scene. But Lewis Hamilton, he's a different breed. He turns chaos into control. He sees light in the darkest corners of a race. He doesn't just survive bad weekends, he redefines them. He doesn't need the best car or the best grid position. He just needs a car that listens to him and a team willing to do the same. So now, the question is bigger than any single race. What does Ferrari really want? Do they double down on consistency, caution, and controlled expectations? Or do they finally embrace the genius in their garage, the one driver who, even at his lowest, still delivers something legendary? The drive in Spa wasn't just about points. It was a protest, a warning shot, proof that when Lewis Hamilton is finally heard, he doesn't just race, he rewrites the story. And if Ferrari keeps choosing silence over support, they may lose the one man capable of bringing them back to greatness. So what do you think? Should Ferrari prioritize safe, steady podiums or trust the instincts of a 7-time world champion? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dive stories from the heart of Formula One. Thanks for watching.